Hi, hello children. So today we are in the sixth chapter, that is banking. So we all know finance is the lifeblood of economic activities like trade, commerce, agriculture, and so on. Without finance, nothing can happen. Okay, so we all know finance is the strength of the economic development. So, with starting of the quotes given by Culbertson, commercial banks are the institution that make short-term loans. So, what he is saying, commercial banks are the institutions. So, it is an institution which provides some short-term loans to business and in the process create money. So, by providing loans to the small business, it also creates money. Okay, so and also if you see, bank means what? It's generally a institutions. Okay, so bank is what? It's generally an institution which provides fundamental financial services. What is meant by fundamental financial services? Means accepting deposits, lending loans. Okay, so we all know banking means what? It accepts the deposit and that deposits is lended as a loans to the business people or for personal loans, etc. Okay, so which the in this process, by accepting and lending loans, the banks also create more money. So that is the fundamental activity of the banking. So here we say that banking sector is the backbone of the modern world, because without banking nothing can happen, because we all will not be having the available resources to make some business. We have to depend on some financial institutions to do some business activities. So in that case, banking sector plays a very important role, and it's the backbone of the modern business world. And also it contributes for the development of the country. So banking system is what? It also contributes some set of amount for the development of the country. So due to the importance in the financial stability of a country, banks are highly regulated in most countries. So since it plays a very important role, most of the countries are regulated with banks. Okay, so second, let us start from the historical development. So, historical development here, if we see the Riksbanks of Sweden. What? The Riksbanks of Sweden. So, which had sprung from a private bank established in 1656, is the oldest central bank in the world. It acquired the sole right note of issue in 1897, but the fundamentals of the art of banking have been developed by the Bank of England. So a large number of central banks were established between 1921 1954, okay, in compliance with the resolution passed by the International Finance. So and also a conference held at Brussels in 1920. The South African Reserve Bank in 1921. So you can see the Central Bank of China, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, Reserve Bank of India. That is very, very important. So this is, we all know, there's a Reserve Bank of India 1935. That is also known as the Central Bank of India. Okay. So the Central Bank of Ceylon in 1950 and the Bank of Israel were established. So you can see in this box the history of banks. Okay, so the first Bank of India was Bank of Hindustan. This will come for you one word. Bank of Hindustan under British rule. So the banking system in India was controlled and dominated by the Presidency Bank. There were three presidency banks. One is Bank of Bengal 1809, Bank of Bombay 1840, Bank of Madras 1843. So all these banks were merged in 1921 and changed. They were called Presidential Bank, which was changed as SBI in 1955. So these all are said to be Imperial Bank of India. So now let us come to the next one, that is commercial banks. So commercial banks. Speaking about commercial banks, it has large divisions, and also it deals with deposits as well as loan services. Okay, so they do not provide long term credit as liquidity of assets is to be maintained. Some of the main functions of commercial banks means it is divided into three things, that is primary function, secondary function and other function. So first let us discuss the primary function. So functions of the commercial bank. So functions of the commercial bank here, primary function of the commercial bank is, first is accepting deposit and advancing loans. Okay, so first என்ன பண்ணுறது, பப்ளிக் கிட்ட இருந்து டெபாசிட்ஸை வந்து ஒரு சேவிங்ஸாக வந்து அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதும், செகண்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா லோனாக மக்களுக்கு கொடுக்கறதும் தான் வந்து ரெண்டு மெயின் ஃபங்க்ஷன். இதில் அக்செப்டிங் டெபாசிட் அப்படின்றது வந்து இட்ஸ் ஆஃப் டூ டைப்ஸ். அது வந்து ஒன்று வந்து டிமாண்ட் டெபாசிட், இன்னொன்று வந்து என்ன டைம் டெபாசிட். ஸோ டிமாண்ட் டெபாசிட்னா என்னென்னு பார்க்கலாம். இட் ரெஃபர்ஸ் டு டெபாசிட்ஸ் தட் கேன் பி வித்ட்ரான் பை இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ் வித்தவுட் எனி ப்ரீரியர் நோட்டீஸ் டு த பேங்க். அதாவது வந்து இந்த டிமாண்ட் டெபாசிட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது எப்போ வந்து ஒருத்தர் இப்போ டெபாசிட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா அவங்க வந்து பேங்க்கில் வந்து எந்த ஒரு நோட்டீஸும் கொடுக்காம தே கேன் டேக் த அமௌண்ட். Okay, so in other words, the owners of these deposits are allowed to withdraw money anytime. Okay, in other words, what we say is in the demand deposits irukavanga, whenever they want, whenever they need of money, they can withdraw the money with the help of a slip, that is check or ATM cards, etc. Okay, so that is known as demand deposits. Okay, so again I'm telling, see, so if a person have some amount in a bank, he can withdraw the amount without any prior notice. அதுக்கு வந்துட்டு he need not give any letters or he need not give any notice and he have to wait. Anytime whenever he need the money, he can go to the bank straight away. He can withdraw it through a check or through a ATM card. Next is time deposit. Speaking about the time deposits, it's just opposite to the demand deposit. That is, time deposit means a certain period of time will be allowed. Okay, so without that expiry date, he will not be able to take the money before that. Okay, so he have to wait till that due date. So that is known as time deposit. It may be 1 year, 2 year or 3 year. It is based on the time period. And when he takes that amount at a particular time, he will be getting some interest. Some interest will be added according to the times. See, it refers to deposits that are made for certain committed period of a time. Banks may hire interest on time deposits. These deposits can be withdrawn only after a specific time period by providing a written notice to the bank. So the person who's having the deposit amount, he has to give some notice before withdrawing the amount. Okay, and he has to wait till the period of maturity. And next, coming to advancing loans. So advancing loans here means we have second primary function of the bank is giving giving loans. Okay, so giving loans means it is like loans are granted to the individuals and business persons. Okay, so commercial banks grant loans in the form of overdraft, cash credit, discounting bills, exchange. Okay, so banks give loans in the form of overdraft, cash credit and discounting bills and exchange. And also next we are going to see secondary functions. The secondary functions can be classified into 3 heads. Okay, so the secondary functions are classified into 3 heads, that is namely agency function, general utility function and other function. So let us see agency function. So in agency function we have collecting checks, collecting incomes and paying expenses. Okay, so collecting checks means bank collect the checks and bills of exchange on behalf of their customer through clearinghouse facilities. See, speaking about the clearinghouse facilities, where all the bank people join together in one place, they will exchange their checks. So this is known as clearinghouse. Suppose we will be having um, we will be having account we will be having account in some of the banks. Okay, so at that case, so suppose if a person has a bank account in State Bank of India, okay, so another person might be having a account in Axis Bank or some other things. If that Axis Bank person gives the check of Axis Bank Axis Bank check to the State Bank account holder, so what will happen means all the different types different banks will collect all the checks. எல்லா பேங்க்கும் என்ன பண்ணிப்பாங்கன்னா அவங்களோட கஸ்டமருக்கு வேறு ஒரு பேங்க்கில் இருக்கிறவங்க செக் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அந்த பேங்க்கில் செக்ஸ் எல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணிப்பாங்கன்னா வாங்கிட்டு வீக்லி ஒன்ஸ் அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா தே வில் மீட் இன் அ பிளேஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ தே வில் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் த செக்ஸ். ஓகேவா, ஏன்னா அது பர்டிகுலர் ஏரியாவுக்கு ஆனது மட்டும். ஓகே, ஸோ இதை தான் நம்ம என்ன சொல்கிறோன்னா கிளியரிங் செக்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஓகேவா, ஸோ கலெக்டிங் இன்கம் அப்படின்னா அடுத்தது என்னென்னா கமர்ஷியல் பேங்க்ஸ் வந்து என்னென்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா இப்போ வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா சில பேர்த்துக்கு நமக்கு வந்து பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் சேலரிக்கெல்லாம் வந்து பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் இருக்கான்னு கேட்பாங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னா ஸோ நம்மளோட இன்கம், நம்மளோட சேலரிஸ், ரெண்ட்டு, பென்ஷன் எல்லாத்தையும் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா பேங்க்கில் போட்டுருவாங்க. ஸோ அதை தான் நம்ம என்ன சொல்கிறோம் அப்படின்னா கலெக்டிங் இன்கம். ஸோ அப்போ பேங்க்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நம்மளோட பென்ஷனு, சேலரி, ரெண்ட்டு, இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டு இது எல்லாத்தையும் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்கு பதிலாக கலெக்ட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கும். அப்போ கஸ்டமர்ஸ் whenever they need they can take the amount by withdrawing by with the help of a voucher or ATM card, etc. Next is paying expenses. ஸோ பேயிங் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் அப்படின்னா நமக்காக இப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறோம், நம்மலாம் இப்போலாம் என்ன பண்ணுறோம், மொபைல் இப்போ நமக்கு வந்து பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் இருக்குதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, HDFC பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா ஸோ ஆல்ரெடி இப்போ நம்ம ப்ரீவியஸாக டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண மாதிரி நம்மளோட சேலரி, ரெண்ட்டு எல்லாமே என்ன ஆகிடும் அந்த பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட்டில் இட் வில் பி ரிசீவ்ட் ஆஸ் அ இன்கம். So now we want to pay the expenses like நமக்கு வந்து இந்த normally we will be having expenses like school fees, insurance premiums, rent, etc. So this and all will be paid by the banks. Okay, so this is known as paying expenses. Okay, that is with the help of the bank. Okay, with the help of the income what we have it in a particular bank, we can pay the fees or rent, whatever expenses if we are meeting, we can pay it. Next is general utility function. So speaking about the general utility function, it implies that the commercial banks provide some utility service to customers by like providing locker facilities to preserve the jewels and all the shares, debentures, etc. Then issuing travelers checks. So travelers checks means that is it issues some travel checks for traveling outside the country. Okay, so this is known as travelers check. அதாவது வந்து ட்ராவல் பண்ணுறதுக்காக என்னது providing check to the person who's traveling to some other country, and also it is very safe and easy to protect because we need not carry any money in the in the hand. Okay, so cash in hand is not necessary, so we can hold some travelers check, and with the help of that we can travel and we can convert it into a cash. Next is dealing in foreign exchange. Of course we also receive some other foreigners money, so which can be converted easily into the domestic country money. So that is known as dealing in foreign exchange. And next is transferring funds. Of course the funds can be transferred, okay, by means of draft, telephonic transfer and electronic transfer. Nowadays we are using the mobile phones to transfer the money. Yes, so next is letter of credit. So speaking about the letter of credit, we have two things, that is underwriting securities and electronic banking. So underwriting securities means that is public has full faith in the credit worthiness of bank. So public do not hesitate in buying the securities underwritten by bank. So whatever securities are given by bank is secured one, so people accept it is. So speaking about electronic bank, we have debit cards, credit cards and internet banking. So with the help of that, we can withdraw the money or we can face the expenses. It is also very easy and nowadays plays a very important role. So next is other functions of the bank is money supply, credit creation, collection of statistics. So money supply, if we speak means it refers to one of the important function of the commercial bank that help in increasing money supply. For instance, if you say a bank lends 5 lakh to an individual and opens a demand deposit in the name of that individual. And also bank makes a credit entry of 5 lakh in that account. This leads to creation of demand deposits in that money. அதாவது மணி சப்ளை அப்படின்னும் போது இட் இஸ் அ வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன். ஓகே, ஸோ இதனால் என்னென்னா மணி சப்ளை பேங்க்னால வந்து இட் வில் இன்க்ரீஸ் த மணி சப்ளை. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் என்ன 5 lakhs வந்து ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் வந்து ஹீ இஸ் ஓப்பனிங் சம் டெபாசிட் 5 lakh அமௌண்ட்டுக்கு ஹீ இஸ் ஓப்பனிங் சம் டெபாசிட் அமௌண்ட். ஓகே, ஒரு ஃபிக்ஸட் டெபாசிட் இல்லை கரண்ட் டெபாசிட் அமௌண்ட் இப்போ இஸ் ஓப்பனிங் இந்த இண்டிவிஜுவல் நேம். பேங்க் மேக்ஸ் அ கிரெடிட் என்ட்ரி. ஸோ பேங்க் அப்போ என்ன ஆகுது, பேங்க்குக்கு 5 லட்சம் உள்ளே வருது. அப்போ உள்ளே வரும்போது என்னது, அது வந்து பேங்க்குக்கான கிரெடிட் அக்கௌண்ட். ஸோ இட் takes. So this leads to creation of demand deposits in the account. So the point to be noted here is that there is no payment in cash. Thus, without printing additional money, the supply of money is increased. So என்னது, டெபாசிட் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகுது, பேங்க்கோட அக்கௌண்ட் வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுது. அப்போ தே நீட் நாட் நீட் எனி அமௌண்ட் டு பி பிரிண்டட் ஆஸ் அ currency. So the amount increased automatically through the deposit. Understood? Next is credit creation. So credit creation means loans and advances. That is commercial bank, what it will happen, it will receive some deposit from public, and also these deposits give loans. What will happen, the deposit whatever is received by the bank will be issued as a loan to the public whenever they are needed. So this is known as credit creation. So by giving the loan, for that loan what we will do, we will make some interest. Okay, we will put some interest. So that interest we will be getting, the bank will be getting it. So that is known as credit creation. So now collection of statistics, and also this banks collect and publish statistics relating to trade, commerce and industry. So hence they advise customers and the public authorities on financial matters, and also it provides necessary informations to the public authorities regarding the financial institutions. Okay, financial matters. So once again, so first we saw the commercial banks, and the commercial banks are the institutions which acts in the profit matter. So we have some of the functions like primary functions and secondary functions. So primary functions we discussed like demand deposits and time deposits, that is accepting deposit, and next is advancing loans. Okay, so next is secondary functions. When we speak agency functions like collecting checks, collecting incomes, paying expenses, and also providing general utility functions like providing locker facilities, issuing travelers check, and dealing in foreign exchange, transferring funds, letter of credit. Speaking about letter of credit, we have two things, that is underwriting securities and electronic banking. Okay, underwriting securities we can take checks. Okay, as a example, electronic banking where we use credit cards and debit cards for taking the money. Other functions like money supply, that is bank act as a money supply, like receiving the deposit and give it as a loan. Credit creation, yes, the deposits are converted into loans. Then collection of statistics, collecting the trade, that is trade, commerce and industries information, and gives a full-fledged financial statements to the public. Okay, so that's all about commercial bank and its functions. So let us discuss mechanism, techniques of credit creation by commercial banks